Welcome to the first episode of Global Heatmap. This is a weekly roundup of important international and strategic issues. Today, we are going to talk about desperation in Russia-Ukraine war, the continued Chinese aggression in Indo-Pacific region. Israel seems to be in no mood for ceasefire, wants to expand the conflict. We'll talk about it. Khalistan has dumped Justin Trudeau. We also have unfortunate story of our unstable neighbors creating chaos around, and we also have the concern of Manipur, which poses an internal security problem on the Myanmar border. As we all know, that the Cold War 1.0 between US-led NATO and Russia continues, and also simultaneously we have the Cold War 2.0 between US-led NATO and China, and both are happening simultaneously, impacting all the global flashpoints. Coming on to the first flashpoints, Russia-Ukraine war. We all have seen that in Russia-Ukraine war, standoff attacks are happening, both sides. Russians are targeting the infrastructure, especially the energy infrastructure of Ukraine, to bring down their morale and their capacity to continue with the war in winter months. At the same time, Ukraine is also responding with whatever they have. The Kursk offensive has not achieved what it should have in a manner that they wanted, that Russia should divert forces from their offensive in Donbas region, especially in Donetsk region, but that has not happened. Instead, Russia is pressing on in the Donetsk region in a manner that they are reaching almost 10 kilometers short of Pokrov, with the result, in case they capture Pokrov, which is a very important hub in terms of communication, the areas which are in front or especially in north, they will have to be evacuated because they will run into the danger of getting cut off, and therefore Russia could achieve the aim of completing the complete capture of the Donetsk region. Also, we saw this week that Ukraine keeps talking about democracy, that they are fighting for democracy, but then in April 2024 the elections did not happen, and therefore what we see this week is that there is a reshuffle in the cabinet of Zelensky. The foreign minister is out, and a martial law dictator continues, because martial law was declared the moment this war started in February 2022. So therefore, it's a question mark whether they are fighting for democracy or otherwise. Similarly, when we talk of sovereignty, today Zelensky said in this week that I am going to go and present my war plans and victory plans to both the politicians who are contending for presidentship in USA. So in other words, he was saying that I am fighting for my sovereignty to take a sovereign decision to join NATO, but on ground, instead of he may have perhaps fought for preserving his sovereignty as far as Russia is concerned, but then his sovereignty is now hostage to America, because even for his war plans he has to go and take somebody's permission. Similarly, we also see that Russia is also threatening that I will tweak my nuclear doctrine in a manner that earlier the doctrine said that if either I am attacked by the nuclear arsenal or if my survivability is threatened, then I am going to use nuclear weapons. Now the tweaking will perhaps bring it down to an extent that in case some other actions are taken, especially the long-range targeting by the Western weapons. Maybe that they may call a shot, or maybe they may threaten to go nuclear as far as the policy is concerned. What happens subsequently, that we will see subsequently as we come with the future episodes. The second flashpoint, China continues to have an aggressive stance in Indo-Pacific region. Their Coast Guard trawlers have been bashing against the Philippine ships, and the Philippines, who are trying to protect their sovereign territory in terms of Sabina Shoal, find it difficult because Chinese are trying to threaten them with the kind of actions which they are doing. It is illegal, there is no doubt about it, because PCA in 2016 ruled it out against it. China continues to say it is 9-dash line, so it is my territory. Given a choice, they would like to make South China Sea as their lake. But then this is a violation of the rule-based order. We also see this week that China and Russia are conducting a joint exercise in East China Sea and in Japan Sea and in that area around, which would be certainly of concern to Taiwan as well as perhaps and to Japan. The third flashpoint in Israel, I don't think Netanyahu is in a mood to go for ceasefire. He wants to continue in the chair. Not only that, this week we find that he's stuck in Syria, and there was also an attack from Jordan which killed 3 Israelis. So therefore, Netanyahu has led Israel to a situation where no border of Israel is safe, and therefore the chances of expansion become little brighter. As far as Hezbollah is concerned, they fired their shot earlier, and now it is a normal engagement which continues and will continue. But Iran is yet to respond. It may well happen that because of the asymmetry of the combat power between the two forces, Iran may not respond in the manner in which it did earlier, but certain targeted attacks somewhere else, anywhere in the world on Jews cannot be ruled out, and therefore a covert option by Iran cannot be ruled out. Coming on to another area that we find that Justin Trudeau, who was helping out the Khalistanis and playing on the Khalistani narrative on the context of free speech, apparently the Khalistanis have dumped him in a manner that Jagmeet Singh, who is heading the NDP, has diverged with the party of Trudeau, and Trudeau's government is hanging in fire in a manner that if the support is withdrawn, it can fall any time. So we don't know whether Trudeau will complete his term or otherwise. But then the fact is that if you were working against the national interest and helping out separatists, obviously those separatists are also opportunists, and now they see that the popularity of Trudeau is declining, so they are also now trying to switch side, and perhaps they will do it in stages. So we will have to see as to how long Trudeau's government stays in power. We also have our troubled neighbors. In Pakistan, we find that the border with Afghanistan has heated up. There has been firing. 2 leaders of Afghanistan have been killed, and there would be more to follow. Similarly, the BLA in Balochistan has given a tough time to Pakistan Army. The whole lot of protests are going on, and apparently Pakistan will have to handle that along with the economic pressure. The good part is, although a good news, that they have stuck or they've discovered some oil and gas in their EEZ, and maybe that can be a game changer as far as economics is concerned. Bangladesh continues to say and is building a narrative to ask for extradition of Sheikh Hasina. the chaos continues, and they would be perhaps looking at how the Durga Puja goes on to see as to whether the minorities will be safe or otherwise. Similarly, we also find Nepal also pitching in a manner that they are also putting Indian map on their currency this week. So that's another area. Also, we find that things are heating up in Manipur. The kind of weaponry which the insurgents have has not been there earlier. Obviously, such kind of weaponry is not indigenous. It has come from somewhere. Now, that somewhere could be, it could be Russia, it could be China, in a manner that China was earlier supporting military junta, but now junta is losing ground and the insurgents are gaining ground, and Chinese have tremendous amount of investment in Myanmar. So maybe that they are trying to help out the other side, that is the insurgents also. The fingers can also be pointed, or maybe there is an element of suspicion in a manner that since Myanmar was seen to be getting into Chinese fold, maybe CIA has also played some trick, but all these are speculations. There is no concrete proof, because all these agencies would say that all these weapons are available in the open market, so anybody can buy it. But this does create a fair amount of concern as far as we are concerned, because of the border with Myanmar, a porous border which needs to be fenced, and there are social problems, there are political problems, and there are internal security problems as well. So this is what in general happened around us in this week. See you next time with the update of the next week. Thank you very much.